Hey there, everyone. This is David, Fairly Secret Music. Haven't done one of these videos in quite a long time, so this year I've been listening to a lot of progressive rock, a lot of new wave stuff too, and then where was it? Then this album came out, but we're not going to start with this. We're gonna start with this. So Warlock, Triumph and Agony is one of my favorite albums. It's just perfect metal. I mean, Doro's voice on this album was just fantastic. They really hit their stride on this one, which is interesting because it was just her and a producer and a new guitarist mainly, and the actual Warlock guys didn't really partake in a lot of it. So for years, I had basically just had this album and the what is this one called? True as Steel album also. So True as Steel, I had this on cassette for a long time. Before, well, not really a long time. 86 was when that came out, and this came out in 87. So I did have this before I had Triumph and Agony, so I knew about the band at this point. I didn't know about their earlier two albums, but, you know, we will get to those also. So when I found out that the Doro, Warlock, Triumph and Agony Live CD and DVD set was going to come out, and this also has a story behind Triumph and Agony. And in the new, well, not the newest, but one of the last two issues of Decibel also had them talking about how they recorded it and how everything kind of came into play. That kind of spurred my interests even more. I know her voice isn't quite able to hit some of those notes, but she still has just an amazing vibrato, just a great tone. The one thing I will say in this mix is I thought the guitars were a little weak on it, and that bass drum is way too loud. And Doro should not tell people to, or just constantly yell, hey, 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 and stuff like that. Let the music actually sing for a bit without somebody yelling over it. I did see Doro a few years ago, and she was really good. It was in a very small venue, but it was like she was playing a stadium. So this is fantastic. I haven't watched the DVD or Blu-ray yet, but this inspired me to get other things. So the first few that I got, and Call of the Wild was, is it Calling the Wild was the first one that I decided I needed, because I listened to a few songs and I really enjoyed them, and this had been the first, besides the Triumph and Agony Live, it's been the first Warlock or Doro thing that I've purchased in probably 20 years or so, even longer than that technically, because I think the last Doro thing that I actually purchased was the Selftitled album, and that was on cassette way long ago. So this one is good. The songs are great, but it's just recorded kind of just too hot. I don't know why I keep on tilting it up to you like you can't see it. But yeah, the songs are great, but the production is just way too hot. and compressed and just loud. It's very loud. And I was really kind of wary of that because it's part of this series where they they open up really weird like this. It's the Digipack series. And each of these does come with a nice booklet with all the lyrics. Oh, that's another thing I was going to talk about on this. So this thing, originally Triumph and Agony does not come with lyrics. But this finally has all the lyrics to the whole album. There are some lines that I never realized what she was singing, so now it's kind of interesting being able to see or hear what she is singing. So that alone was worth the price of buying this. And I got it for $20. I believe that's the retail value. There are a bunch of different versions of that, but I'm not going to get a standee or anything like that. So I was very wary on this series, and they are done by Gamma Rough Trade, and because I thought, oh shit, did they remaster all of them and just overblow the sound on them? But turns out it's just this one so far, because I've only listened to a couple other ones. I also picked up Fight, which again has the... I'm not going to show you all of these because they're basically the same setup. But these also have bonus tracks on them. If you're curious, they do have bonus tracks on just about every one of them. I'll let you know when there's not a bonus track. This one does have bonus tracks. This one does have bonus tracks for Fight. Fear No Evil also has bonus tracks. I think this was around the time that she got the rights to use the Warlock name again, but I don't think she kind of jumped on that. The two newest things she's done have been named Warlock. I'm going to do these in order of how I purchased them. I've listened to about half of this. I thought it was pretty good. Not anywhere near as good as the songwriting on Calling the Wild, but production sounded a lot better. And then these are the two most confusing CDs ever. I didn't realize that they originally, or maybe this is how they came out. This is Forever Warriors, and this one is Forever United. And for the longest time, I didn't realize that that these titles were different. I just thought there was a different kind of color, you know, like King's X Dogman had like 4 different covers that were all just different colors. Yeah, so this is actually a double disc that there is a version that is a double disc that comes in a digipack. The jewel case versions do come in 2 separate cases, so it's kind of like a Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Have I listened to these enough to know whether she should have just done one album? Not sure. All for Metal is on this, and that has, oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. It has like a dozen people singing on it. There is 3 bonus tracks on this version, and then on this one has 3 bonus tracks. Key for me is it has Doug Ulrich on guitar on the Heartbroken song. I haven't listened to these ones quite enough yet to give you a honest opinion. This was the album that I purchased where I was like, I had only listened to Call of the Wild, and I thought, oh no, I hope these aren't all going to sound like Call of the Wild, with that really heavy kind of overblown production. But this one sounds absolutely fantastic. The bass tone on this album is awesome. I've listened to about half of it since I purchased it. I should probably turn that like that. And I look forward to listening to more of this, but I've been getting a lot of things lately that kind of drawn my attention away from Doro for right now. But I got 4 things in the mail today, so that's why I decided to finally do this video. I also bought this along with Warrior Soul, and this is one that I was kind of on the fence to get, and then I realized how much I like her ballads. And this is her with a orchestra doing a lot of other songs from older albums, like I Rule the Ruins, Metal Tango, All We Are, and Forever are on here, along with a ton of stuff that I am not as familiar with. But Metal Tango and I Rule the Ruins are my 2 favorite Warlock songs. The other, well, let me see here. Make Time for Love is one of my other favorites. I'm not a big fan of All We Are. I think it's a good song, but I just, I got tired of it. I'll show you the box set last, but we'll go in we'll go in weird order. I got this one, which is Raise Your Fist, which I've read that some people don't dig quite as much, but the tracks that I'd listened to from it, I thought sounded pretty great, and I wanted this version. I could have got a brand new version for, I think, $14.99 with free shipping. I got this version because it was $9.99, eBay, of course, but it was used, and there are radio scratches on it. I don't know if you can see that. I can't tell. I can't see anything that I'm putting in front of the camera because I can't see the screen. However, I'm watching it on a different screen, but there's a little delay. Anyway, but I think at this new phone that I have, although it doesn't let me flip the image, so everything, if I was watching the screen, everything would be backwards writing, so I don't want to do that to you. But a lot of people said this wasn't that great. I'll be interested in listening to what it sounds like. The other reason I got this used version, not only was it $9.99, but also it had this cover, whereas the other new version had just kind of like a generic photo of her, which I thought was kind of a dumb choice. I also picked up the Selftitled, which was the last album that I had really picked up from her. Of course, I had everything on cassette when I purchased this way back in 1990. And I did have to rebuy Triumph and Agony and True as Steel on CD, so I technically have purchased stuff within the last 20 years of hers, but it was just rebuying stuff that I already had. This one is a weird one because Gene Simmons produced it, and Tommy Thayer co-produced something on it. It says executive producer, associate producer Tommy Thayer and Pat Regan, engineered and mixed by Pat Regan. Executive producer, I just think that means Gene put some money behind it and did some writing on it. She does a few covers, and the one that I know for sure is Only You, which was on what I think is one of the coolest Kiss albums, which is The Elder. But they changed some of the lyrics, so it wasn't so, what do you call it? concept albumy. And I think she does a decent job. I think it would have been cooler if she had done Under the Rose, because that song is awesome. Anyway, so yeah, this was her being all glammy, and not glammy, but you know, like fashion model almost going on here, and she is beautiful, but I think she wears a bit too much black eyeliner these days. So I think the photo shoot was done by some like high fashion photographer. Her very first solo album was Force Majeure, and I really enjoyed this when I had it on cassette way back in, God, what was that, 89 or something like that? Yeah, 89. I remember the last track, Bis aufs Blut. Save My Soul is a fantastic song. Here's my question, though. Who was the idiot that decided, hey, you know what we should do? We should release the cover A Whiter Shade of Pale as the first single. That was absolutely ridiculous. I think Save My Soul would have possibly brought her up to the next level past what Warlock had done. I think it was just a bad idea of what to do for a single. Sometimes you just have idiots in charge of your career. The last thing that I will show you here is excuse me, this Warlock I Rule the Ruins box. So it comes in a clamshell box, and it has the first 4 albums. Granted, I did not need this 3rd and 4th, but I never had Burning the Witches or Hellbound. Here's a very good sign that stupid people make decisions for bands. I think they had some other artwork with that dude on the cover. They switched it up for them and put this knucklehead looking guy on the cover. I mean, I don't know about you, but this guy right here looks way cooler than this guy with the, I mean, he's bald. He's got it. I mean, this is me. I'm on the goddamn cover here. So, but every album of the 4 albums comes in the little goofy sleeve. Cool thing is, one of these has a bunch of bonus tracks. Yeah. So I looked up to see how much it would be to purchase these in regular cases, regular jewel case versions, and it was kind of crazy money. This I got through Get Imports on eBay, and they charged $26. I could have got it at cheapo for $33.99, but I decided, nah, I will save, what is that, $7, and just order it from Get Imports. So this is their first album, where they were a bit more raw, more kind of Judas Priest kind of heavy metal. I have not listened to the first 2 albums ever. I've listened to samples of songs and part of songs. Then they did this weird cover, and this is, what is this album called? Hellbound. And this one, I think they kind of started getting closer to that True as Steel sound. But man, look at Doro. She's looking super hot. And I've never thought of her as like a sex symbol or anything. I've just thought she's always really attractive. But there you are. True as Steel, which does not have any bonus tracks. This, however, does. Forgot to say. This has Hellraiser, Hurt My Soul, On and On, Turn It On, Evil, and All Night Special single mix. So, I think that's interesting because doesn't she do Hellraiser? I wonder if the Hellraiser on this is the same as this. I'll have to find out. Again, True as Steel, and last but not least, Triumph and Agony. So I have this, 2 different versions of this. I don't think these are the remastered versions, but they very well may be, because I haven't really looked at the awesome booklet that comes with it. I just kind of paged through it. It does have extensive liner notes. They're all done by Malcolm Dome. And then there are some interesting, well, not interesting, but the information on here. Let me see if these have been remastered. I don't know if it's going to say. It does say mastering by Andy Pierce, so I wonder if they have all been remastered. The nice thing is I have the old version of this that I can kind of compare it to. So, sorry, the end of this video was kind of boring. But, yeah, so I am kind of dipping my toe back into metal again after almost 10 months of not really listening to metal. I am recording vocals for the newest Waves of Mercury album, and that is very doomy, very kind of proggy doom type stuff. So I haven't been able to get really in that kind of headspace to do the vocals yet. I've got 6 more songs to do. I think I've finished 2. And then Greg and I are redoing all of our Mildest Friend recording project that we did with our friend Brandon, who committed suicide in 2008. We decided, you know, it was funny because he came over with a bass and these songs that we written 20 years ago, and it's all instrumental, and it's a lot of odd time. It's a lot of really tricky parts. We could remember those melodies and parts way more than we could even remember the stuff that we had just worked on 3 months ago. So I called him up and I said, hey, you want to re-record all those? And we thought we were going to re-record, you know, maybe 10 songs out of the 23 or so that we did. And now it seems like we're going to just probably do all like 20 of the 23. We're just really enjoying that. Unfortunately, I came down with this head cold that I've had for about 2 weeks now, and it's weird because I don't know when you're supposed to go get a COVID test if you have a head cold. I mean, because every symptom is the exact same. So, but my taste and my smell and no breathing things, and I think there's another thing that that is COVID related that most people have, but I may be going to get a test tomorrow because I have to go to do something else. So anyway, so yeah, that's, you know, a little bit of my music fun that I am actually doing. So part of getting into more of the metal stuff again has also helped me get back into what I'm recording, what kind of music I want to play in the future or re-record. He also wants to do an acoustic project that we did a while back too. So I don't know if anybody is ever interested. If you go to bandcamp.com, just look for Waves of Mercury or The Fairly Secret Army, and we have all of our stuff on Bandcamp, and you can download it for free. I would rather people download it for free than to pay for it. All you have to do is put in your email address, and give it a listen. I would rather people give it a listen and just enjoy it for what it is and not think, oh, I just spent money on this. I don't like this that much. So who knows? You might like all of it. You might like none of it. Album to album, everything kind of changes. Waves of Mercury kind of floats like this, in and out of heaviness and progginess and stuff like that. Fairly Sacred Army is all over the place. But yeah, it's me on drums and vocals, Greg on bass and guitars, and let me know if you dig it. All right, so this is the tricky part where I have to turn off the video.